Hey everybody, Jabman025 here. Today we're taking a look at my 142nd Master Grade, The Deep Striker. This is from a side story, side novel, Mobile Suit Gundam Sentinel. This is the biggest Master Grade ever made, by far. Nothing even comes close. This was supposed to be Master Grade number 200, but it was delayed. I'm considering the first kit of the year is this. They released that GM, but let's be honest, that GM was a P Bandai they had to throw into a slot because this wasn't ready. So, here we go. Let's have a look. First off, starting out the box, the Master Grade box here is the exact same size as the Perfect Grade Unicorn box. Not similar, it's the exact same size. Yep. Now, the manual is basically a book. It goes on and 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 on until you get to page 35. There are 35 pages to this manual. I'm not even kidding. I do like in the manual that they tell you what all this stuff is. They have a brief description of what every part of this thing is. It talks about how it has, 2 nuclear engines, double I-field generator, all the cannons, all the weapons. I mean, it does go into a great bit of detail. This kit has 39 plates. 39 of them. Now, on a lot of these plates, you're only going to be using maybe 3-4 parts because they're from the original Gundam Sentinel. But, like that one there, I think we used 2 parts on that entire plate. And every one of these other plates, you use pretty much everything. And it goes on and on and on. This kit can be a frustrating build because it'll say, get one piece from this plate and 1 piece from this plate. When you have 39 plates, finding that one specific plate is a pain in the butt. And to hold this thing up, they give you a big action stand. Use the original Gundam Sentinel, the XS, and the Perfect Grade Strike. Obviously, this one is modified. It gives a couple of support struts on the front and a couple of support struts on the back. This thing will never tilt. It's locked in position, and it will never move. Just like a lot of things on this kit. Anywho. But yeah, that's a big base for this thing, but it's going to need it. Next up, we have the centerpiece, where it locks on. This thing may be a Gundam kit, but it feels a lot more like a Lego kit. You're going to build everything around that. Snap it on, next piece. Snap it on, next piece. You have these mega thrusters on the bottom. This thing came in only 3 colors. It comes in the red, the gray, and the white, and I guess a tiny bit of yellow. So I did customize a little bit of this. I added the little red on the fins there. I changed the thrusters to silver just to get some more color in there. That thing moves. It's one of the few things. I have a little piston there that can move out. Yay. You get 2 of them. Big old thrusters on the back. We have 6 total so far. We have the 2 propellant tanks. These 2 up front are supposed to be cannons. I'm not exactly sure how they work, but it's still neat looking. And this thing is already starting to weigh a ton because there's so much stuff here. And we have connections here, and you'll see what those are for later. This is partially a reuse from the original Gundam Sentinel, or EXS rather, and partially new stuff. Torso is pretty much all original EXS. Few slight changes, but nothing major. And this. You use a ton of screws in this completion of this kit. And I mean a ton. It just goes on and on and on. When you open up that bag, put it in a Ziploc so you don't lose any because you're going to use every last one of them. For the backpack, we have this single, I guess we're going to call it pillar. I don't know what it is. Anyway, this cable comes out. Basically a giant shoelace, and inside that is a rubber cable with a copper wire going to it, so it can be posed in any way you want. Move back and forth, it'll hold its position just fine. That's going to connect into the main gun on this thing. But you don't build that for a while, so it's going to be hanging out there in the background for a bit. I added some silver into the frame of the kit, again, because it was just gray, and I'm trying to add a little bit more color to this thing. The torso is mostly recycle. A few changes here and there, but nothing big. The head is completely new. I was surprised. I was expecting the same old head. Nope, completely new head. Redesigned. It's a little smaller, a little sleeker. Looks better. They give you an option on the head whether you want the disc from the EXS or you just want the standard look you see here, whichever you prefer. And the original EXS had like a red disc on top, but it's there if you want it. But yeah, brand new head, looks real good. And we got 2 more propellant tanks that add on to the back. This is a very loose connection, but it never did fall out for me. I was afraid this thing was going to fall constantly, but no. It's solid. The propellant tanks are completely hollow, so they don't weigh much. On the front section, we have these 2 parts here. One hooks into the main base where everything connects, and this hooks into the chest piece up here. And essentially, they're supposed to be, double I-field generators, another nuclear engine in there, so, yeah. I do like the bottom piece, kind of has that dragon open mouth thing. That entire frame there, you see black. I repainted that matte black. Again, it comes white. There's just too much white on this kit, to be quite honest. So I was desperate to add some more color, or some more variety at least. There is a ton of lining to do on this kit. Lots of panel lining. Like I said, all the parts are pretty big, so there's a lot of lines in there. So bust out that Real Touch marker. You're going to be using a lot. More stuff for the backpack. Another set of mega thrusters. So now we have 10 total. 6 on the bottom, 4 on the backpack. The full burn giant thrusters we saw from the EXS. This thing is loaded. There's a screw there in the backpack, and another part there with a screw in it. Those are royal pains in the butt to get in, just because this thing is getting so big and, unmanageable. And now it's getting very difficult to light. You can see my rig's getting a little weird. This thing's so huge, it's just even difficult to film. Add on the arms and the shoulders. Shoulders are partial redesign, partial old school tech. The right arm is completely old school from the EXS. Left arm is barely old school because it had this thing on. This is supposed to be a giant sensor dish that gives it essentially the same sensor capabilities as an EWAC suit. So, yeah. Gun, complete rehash. I completely repainted it because this thing comes in gray. The shoulders will slide open as such. That's the redesign. That's kind of neat. Both shoulders on both sides, so all 4 pieces will slide. And you see there's a matte black piece holding it into the side, one of these side thrusters. So that kind of holds this thing up. And I repainted the gun, like I said. The whole thing went to gunmetal. I repainted that cable gold. Scope, I changed the gunmetal as well. The sides here and the front of the gun I changed to black. Repainted that cable red and silver. Again, this is me just trying to add some variety. Like I said, lack of color on this thing. Now for the backpack. On top of the backpack, this thing attaches to the main thrusters on the backpack of the backpack of the backpack. Anyway, that is a large sensor disc with extra cameras to mount for the main firing of the primary weapon on this thing, which I'll show you in a minute. At this point, it is extremely difficult to film and light because it is so friggin' huge. I apologize. I'm trying to get close to images, but this thing is just getting absurd now. Speaking of absurd, here is the gun. This is a megaparticle cannon from an Argama-class battleship that they flipped upside down. I have repainted this gray section here on these vents. This was originally used for elevating and maneuvering the gun. It is unnecessary on this suit. It even says so in the manual. But it got so friggin' huge and it was so heavily armored, they figured, just leave it on there. I like the chrome they add in for talk about the recoil of this thing would be insane. So it's got all these pistons to keep it from flying off. Decals are all sticker decals. And I know a lot of people are complaining about that. But quite frankly, this thing is so big, so huge, and so awkward to work with. Water slide decals would be impossible. And dry transfer would be insanely impossible. I don't know if either one is practical in this sense, so I don't mind the stickers. Not to mention they don't give you there's not a lot you need on this kit. It's so out there in terms of size. What a sticker's going to do? I do like the Gundam system they have here. They give you in 2 pieces, so the shoulder can still move. That's cool. But most of the decals are nothing to write home about anyway. This thing is absurdly big. It has amazing shelf presence, but good luck finding the shelf you can put it on. Who wants gratuitous size comparison? That's right, you do. Here we have the RX-78-2 version 2.0, my standard for size comparison. Yeah. Now we got a big kit, in this case the O, one of the old, well, not the next to the biggest master grade, but he's up there. And yeah, he's still pretty small compared to the XS. Yeah, oh boy. And now, because I always love doing it, the 1/100 scale victory on the smallest master grade against the newest, biggest master grade. These are both the same scale. Yep. And for fun, here it is next to a 1/1 scale Jabman. Final thoughts on this kit. I can't give this a thumbs up, guys. And it's not for the reason you're thinking. I know a lot of people saying, this is a brick kit. How could you give it a thumbs up? Look, it's a brick kit, but if you bought this thing expecting a poser, that's your own fault. We all knew this was going to be a brick kit the second they announced it. I'm not giving it a thumbs up because for the money they charge, it's going to be close to $200 after shipping this monster. They don't give you a lot of detail. This thing uses red, it uses white, and it uses gray, and a tiny bit of yellow, and that's it. For a kit this big, you've got to add some variety, and that's why I was so desperate to add some color here and there, you know. Some metallic reds, some silvers, some gunmetals, some flat black, anything just to add more to it, because otherwise it's just a big blob of gray, red, and white. And a little highlight of yellow here and there. For the money they charge, you don't get a great kit. You get a good kit. If you're looking for, you know, shelf presence and wow factor, okay. But if you're looking for, you know, top of the line, best of the best master grade, and now. Well, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you found it informative. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I always will. Please stay tuned for more. I always got more reviews coming, and I will see you guys next time. Oh, and one more thing. I was trying to think of an image that would best suit this kit. No. Well, we're getting closer.